Hey you! Yeah you! Are you tired of dying because you didn't bring the correct stratagems? Got no idea which ones are strong against what enemy? Or do you not know what to pick next? Well then, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be going over all of the strong stratagems as well as good combos to bring on your next Helldive. Now, I don't own all stratagems for obvious reasons. I'm not a fucking machine. I can't be playing this game for a week straight, please leave me alone. But I do have knowledge from them, from playing with other people as well as friends using said stratagems and combos. Now, before we do get into it guys, if you guys want to watch me live or even join me on my next Helldive, or even in a different game, make sure to catch me live at twitch.tv/ChromatixTV, live around at 2 PM CET almost every day. But let's go over to the stratagems. Helldivers 2 has a lot of different stratagems, but for now we'll focus on the stratagems in all categories. In terms of categories, we have 3 different categories of stratagems. Offensive stratagems, which are good for killing, supply stratagems, that are gear that you can drop down, and defensive stratagems, which are stationary and good for defense, which are all split across 6 different departments. These departments include the Patriotic Administration Center, the Orbital Cannons, the Hangar, the Bridge, the Engineering Bay, and finally, the Robotics Workshop. Starting off with the Administration Center, the notable stratagems that are strong and should be focused on buying first are the Machine Gun, which is, baby's first weapon. It's very, very strong. It clears hordes very easily. It does good damage. It can suppress automatons and bugs alike, and has the property of medium armor penetration. The only downside is you need to be stationary while reloading, and it's kind of hard to control when standing up. The expendable anti-tank. Arguably one of the best in dealing with heavy units such as Chargers, Bile Titans, and their respective versions for automatons. They're also one of your go-tos for solo runs, due to them being relatively low cooldown with little need for maintenance like the recoilless, because teamwork is hard. The recoilless rifle, similarly to the anti-tank, one of the best to deal with heavies and elites. The difference between the expendable and the recoilless is the ability to reload the recoilless. If you have competent teammates, that is, please reload my shit. Another thing to note is that the expendables and recoilless can easily deal with spore spewers by just shooting them. Flamethrower, decently useful against hordes of small bugs, just be careful not to burn yourself. Autocannon, useful against bile spewers and walker automatons. That's about it. It's good at dealing with light armor enemies. Railgun, one of the best weapons you can get, deals with almost every enemy with somewhat of ease, except for Chargers and Bile Titans and their respective automaton counterparts, which require around between 5 to 15 shots to the head to kill with a safe charge. Just be careful though when you swap to the unsafe mode for the railgun, as you can accidentally blow the gun up in your hands. Spear, solid against enemies. Personally, not as good as a recoilless due to the amount of ammo you get and the fact that you need to lock on, but it is very strong regardless. Moving on to the orbital cannons, they have a couple of very solid stratagems, mainly for dealing with large hordes or with elites. The Gatling Barrage is an incredible gem combined with the correct setups. It's very bad against armored units, but deals with small trash mobs very easily, especially during bug breaches. Airburst Barrage, good against bug breaches in combinations with other gems, similarly to Gatling Barrage, but with longer cooldown and with less range. Orbital Laser, aka the Hammer of Dawn, is one of the best stratagems in the game. Completely annihilates everything in its way, almost leaving nothing in its way, including you and your teammates. The drawback to using the laser is a long cooldown and the 3 use per mission limit. Rail Cannon Strike, great at dealing with heavies and elites since it targets them first. The Hangar has some of the best stratagems in this game, almost for every type of situation, but the only drawback it really has that's big and noticeable is that the Eagle needs to rearm, which takes about 3 minutes every time, forcing you to either hold on to the leftover strikes in case you need them, or waiting for the Eagle to rearm, which makes you very vulnerable in a lot of situations. Strafing Run is one of the best at dealing with hordes of small bugs and automatons, with high amounts of uses. It was one of my personal favorites, up until I found out some of the other combinations. Airstrikes, one of my personal go-tos due to the sheer destructiveness of it, and how strong it is at dealing with main objectives, side objectives, nests and fabricators, but also with heavies and elites. This is probably my favorite to use. I almost bring this every mission because it's just fun to use. Cluster Bomb, arguably one of the best at dealing with hordes of enemies. like during bug breaches and bot drops. It's also very efficient at clearing out areas with a lot of enemies to give you an upper hand when going in. This, in combination with something like the airstrikes, the napalm, or anything that gives consistent damage, is incredible. And speaking of napalm, the napalm is really strong. It's very good, especially against bugs. And it is even stronger in combination with other stratagems like the Gatling Barrage, Airburst, and other similar constant damage sources. This is one of my favorite combinations to use, and I would highly recommend it. Smoke Strike, insanely good at when trying to reposition or running away from automatons. Has saved my team multiple times from wiping. The 500 kilogram Bomba. Do I need to explain why this is good? Like, come on, it literally wipes everything. Just be careful not to drop it on your teammates. The bridge has a couple of strong stratagems that can help you complement your other gems. Precision Strike, simple, decent damage, low cooldown, deals with nests. It's very strong, regardless of whether you get it early game or late game. EMS Strike is very nice if you need a breather against the automatons due to it stunning them. Works on bugs too, but not needed personally. Smoke Strike, same as the Smoke Eagle, but with unlimited uses with no rearm time, but a way slower deployment. HMG, strong and eradicates, good to complement with other turrets, makes you maniacally laugh. Shield Generator, strong against automatons, just don't let Hulks or Berserkers in. The Engineering Bay has a lot of situational stratagems and also a strong stratagems to support your team with. The Anti-Personnel Mine, please use this only for defense. Using this offensively is a death sentence. The Supply Pack, unlock it now. It's way too good to not get early. Gives you and your team so much more ammo, and you can also use this on yourself when you have it on by clicking 5 on mouse and keyboard. Grenade Launcher, bring this on your next Search and Destroy. Makes that game mode a cakewalk. It's very good against armored enemies or bile spewers due to the explosive passive. Then the Incendiary Mines. Same as anti-personnel, but strong against bugs. Guard Dog Rover. Good backup if you use slower reloading weapons like the LMG or the Recoilless or Spear. Don't use it on a warm map though, since it's a beam weapon and overheats easier. Use it on a cold map instead.
Dispenser going up!
And finally, we get to the Robotics Workshop, featuring a lot of goodies. The Machine Gun Sentry is very strong, doesn't try to kill you, but it's weaker than the Gatling. The Gatling will shred through enemies, but will also kill you without thinking twice. The Mortar, incredible at long-range battles, especially against automatons with cover, but avoid using it when teammates are in its range, since it kills very easily. Guard Dog, it's the same as a Rover, but without the heat issue, and instead relies on ammo. It's just as strong and just as inconsistent. The Autocannon Sentry, aka Big Bertha, can remove enemies from the game's code, including elites, but it takes a while to deploy, so try to defend it. The Rocket Sentry, it's strong against tanks, but not as strong as the Autocannon. It targets the biggest target compared to the Autocannon, which is nice. The EMS Mortar, same as the EMS Airstrike, but you can aim it and it targets different groups of enemies. Now, moving on to the combos, I have put down a couple of combos that I like to use with myself or with my teammates and friends. These are combos that aren't the best, they aren't meta or in any way, but they're very fun to use and they're very consistent at doing what needs to be done. So take them with a grain of salt. You could also use them for fun. Moving to the first combo, I call it the Liberating Fireworks. The Liberating Fireworks build, aka the Horde Cleaner and anti-bug breach combo, uses a Gatling Barrage or Airburst plus a Napalm, and then two filler stratagems. In which case you can use a supply pack, LMG, grenade launcher, railgun, rocket launchers or turrets if you would like. It's good in general gameplay for dealing with hordes, but weak in eradicate or search and destroy unless complemented with the right filler weapons. The DDT, aka the Defended Democracy Area Denial combo. Gatling Sentry plus HMG plus Autocannon plus filler. This combo is very good in eradicate missions or for defending spots, but in general very bad for general play due to the idle nature of the gameplay. The Patriotic Pilgrim. This is my personal favorite solo build to use, and it's very consistent at doing so. The build uses an airstrike plus cluster, a railgun or expendable rockets plus supply pack. You can swap out the cluster for strafing run if you would like, but I personally prefer cluster. It's very reliable. It has helped me beat difficulty 7 and above. The Double Judgment is a duo combo I like to use with a friend of mine. The build relies on 2 players working together, so if you don't have a teammate, then well, this build isn't for you. So player 1 uses an airstrike plus cluster plus supply pack plus a filler weapon that isn't a recoilless. So my personal favorite is an LMG or railgun in this case. Then the second player runs Gatling barrage plus napalm, then a recoilless rifle, and then anything they want, any filler they want. And the strategy is to give the person who isn't using the recoilless pack the rocket backpack, and vice versa. The person with the supply pack loads up the rocket pack, and the rocket pack loads up the person with the recoilless rifle. As long as you two are working together, this build is almost completely unbeatable. The Wanton Liberation. For this build, it's a search and destroy build. Very strong. This is a hit and run build for search and destroy, so do not sit idly. This build uses a grenade launcher, 500 kilogram, supply pack, and any filler that are preferably any explosive or good at clearing. The goal of this build is run as fast as you can from nest A to nest B to nest C without stopping. The 500 kilogram is good for dealing with large nests, and the strategy is you drop the 500 kilogram in and run right behind it, because it'll wipe most likely everyone in the heavy nest. Now, you do not need to use these builds. These are just for people who want to learn more about how to make builds and setups. You can use whatever stratagem and combinations you want, or even any stratagem you want. This isn't a be-all end-all video, and I don't want you guys to stop enjoying the fun and goofy aspect of Helldivers. This video is simply for those who want to know what good and strong stratagems are. Running bad stratagems in a build doesn't mean someone is bad at the game, or don't know what to do, and shouldn't be discouraged to do so. I even run bad stratagems sometimes myself. They're enjoyable to use. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, if you guys run any funny stratagem combos, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.